Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum where all voices matter. Well, the province of Ontario is Canada's economic engine, representing nearly 40% of Canada's GDP. The province is not without its challenges, however, and we're delighted to welcome back to Boom and Bust the Honourable Peter Bethlenfalvy. He's Ontario's Minister of Finance and the MPP for Pickering, Uxbridge. Welcome back to the show, Peter.
It's great to be back on your show, Tony.
I guess the first thing, I'd love to get your sense of it. I sort of tried to, in the intro, describe the importance of Ontario in the Canadian and world economies, but how would you characterize the state of Ontario's economy right now?
Well, I describe it in different ways. You're right. We've been historically the economic engine of Canada. We have a diversified economy here in Ontario. We have proximity to the largest market in the world, in the US, right at our border. So we're in a very good position. We're blessed with many natural resources and a great manufacturing sector. So I would say on the positive side, our government has been very focused on making it easier to do business and grow a business in Ontario. We've been very successful in attracting investment, new manufacturing jobs, high-tech jobs, healthcare workers, and a range of jobs and industries, mining. So very, very good there. And, we've seen it in the results, whether it's capital investment, venture capital, you name it, it's coming into Ontario. That said, the environment we're in, we're seeing, in a period of private sector forecasters downgrading their economic forecast, not just here in Ontario and Canada, but, in the world. And so we have to be mindful that the environment that we're in. I feel very good, though, because we have a very clear plan for the people of Ontario. We campaigned on that plan to build Ontario. We got a resounding yes from the people of this great province to move forward with our plan to rebuild the economy, build the infrastructure, support our labor, and get workers working on those projects. So we're encouraged by that.
Yeah, and I'd love to delve deeper into some of those aspects, which we will do later on in the show. Just to sort of paint the complete picture, what's the state of the government of Ontario's books right now?
Well, we're financially we're doing better. We were the beneficiary last year of a rebound once we successfully came out of COVID, to see business growth, economic growth, much greater than economists had forecasted. Inflation, as you know, was higher than most had forecasted. So we had that environment, and we were able, in that point in time of last year's books, to book a surplus. So $2.1 billion, which we put to the accumulated debt. Now we're seeing an environment which I just mentioned. Economic forecasters are downgrading their projections, and so we're in a different environment. But what I'm confident in is that we've got the plan to kind of get through it, and we've got a plan that I'm confident that people and workers and businesses of Ontario will get through.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more. As you just mentioned, a lot of private sector economists are projecting for Canada a earlier and harder recession, perhaps earlier in the new year. So how does Ontario and how do you, as the Minister of Finance, prepare for that?
Well, we make sure that we have a clear and transparent plan for the people to look at. So our financials are out there. I go out every 90 days and tell the people of Ontario, here's our financial health, here's how we spent your money, and here's how we're continuing to build Ontario. So, that gives markets and people a lot of confidence, that regardless what's around the corner, that we have the capacity and the plan and the confidence to deal with that environment. And the other thing, Tony, is that the short-term things will happen, economies go up and down, but we're thinking very much the long term as well. And what's so critical here, and I'm going to use the word critical, we're refashioning the whole automotive supply chain here in Ontario. This is really phenomenal work that's being done, where we've attracted over $16 billion of new investment in Ontario for auto manufacturing. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. In fact, we saw the opposite, jobs leaving the province. Now jobs are coming back, capital's coming back, and most of that money, that investment, is going into electric vehicle manufacturing. So we plan to be the electric vehicle capital of North America. Now, you got to have batteries to go into those electric vehicles. We've announced an historic investment.
Minister, we're just going to take a brief break.